They said no human could survive mating season, but she chose him anyway, asterisk. The silence of deep space had always been Marcus Reed's closest companion during his solo reconnaissance missions. But tonight, something felt different. The star charts showed nothing unusual in this sector, yet his instruments detected an energy signature unlike anything in the Federation database. Captain Reed adjusted his ship's trajectory toward the anomaly, curiosity overriding standard protocol. What he found defied explanation. A vessel of impossible beauty drifted among the asteroids, its hull shimmering with bioluminescent patterns that pulsed like a living heartbeat. The craft appeared damaged, venting crystalline particles that sparkled in the starlight before dissolving into cosmic dust. Marcus had encountered 17 different alien species during his 12 years of service, but this ship belonged to none of them. His communication array crackled to life with a signal so pure it seemed to bypass his equipment, entirely resonating directly in his mind. The voice that reached him was melodic, desperate, and unmistakably feminine. "Please," it whispered across the void, "I am dying." Without hesitation, Marcus maneuvered his ship alongside the alien vessel. The docking process proved surprisingly smooth, as if the mysterious craft was guiding their connection. When the airlock sealed and atmosphere stabilized, he stepped into a chamber that took his breath away. Walls of living crystal pulsed with soft light, and the air itself seemed to shimmer with an otherworldly energy. She emerged from the shadows like a dream made flesh, tall and graceful, with skin that seemed to contain galaxies beneath its surface. She moved with fluid elegance despite obvious distress. Her eyes, violet and deep as nebulae, fixed on his with an intensity that made his heart race. "Human," she breathed, and somehow the words sounded like music. "I am Zephyra of the Luminari," she continued, her voice carrying harmonics that resonated in his bones. "I have traveled far beyond my people's territory following a calling I could not ignore. My ship is failing, and I am in the grip of something your kind would not understand." Marcus found his voice, though it came out rougher than intended. "What can I do to help?" Her laugh was like silver bells tinged with sadness. "My species enters a mating cycle every solar decade. Without a compatible partner, the biological fire consumes us from within. I have 3 of your days before it becomes irreversible." She stepped closer, and he could feel heat radiating from her luminescent skin. "But you are here, and something in your essence called to me across the stars." The implications hit him like a physical blow. "You're saying you need to mate to survive?" "Not simply mate," Sephora corrected, her eyes never leaving his. "Bond. Become one with another soul so completely that our life forces intertwine. My people believed it impossible with aliens, but your spirit sings to mine in ways that transcend biology." Marcus backed against the crystal wall, overwhelmed by the intensity of her presence and the weight of her words. "This is insane. I don't even know you." "Knowledge is a luxury I no longer possess," she replied, moving closer until he could see the patterns of light dancing beneath her skin. "But this feeling, this connection that drew me across galaxies to find you, this I know with certainty." As if to prove her point, she reached out and gently touched his hand. The contact sent electricity coursing through his nervous system, and suddenly he could feel her emotions as clearly as his own. Desperation, hope, longing, and underneath it all, a love so pure and powerful it defied rational explanation. "How is this possible?" he whispered. "The universe works in mysterious ways," Zephyra said, her fingers intertwining with his. "Perhaps love is the one force that truly transcends all barriers." 24 hours had passed since Sephora had come aboard Marcus's ship, and the transformation in both of them was undeniable. She had grown more radiant, her bioluminescence brightening whenever he was near, while he found himself drawn to her with an intensity that defied all logic. They had spent the night talking, sharing stories of their worlds, their dreams, their fears. "Tell me about your people," Marcus said, as they sat together in his small observation deck. Watching stars wheel slowly past the viewport.zephyra, single quotes expression grew wistful. "The Luminari are an ancient race, older than most civilizations. In this galaxy, We are beings of pure energy given form, connected to the cosmic forces that bind the universe together. Our mating bonds are sacred, creating partnerships that can last millennia. You've never bonded before, she admitted, her voice soft. In 800 of your years, I have never felt the call. My people thought me defective, incapable of the deep connection our species requires for reproduction and spiritual fulfillment. Marcus felt a surge of protectiveness toward this incredible being. There's nothing defective about you. She turned to face him fully, her violet eyes shimmering with unshed tears. Then why did I have to travel so far from home to find the one who completes me? Why did the universe make my perfect match a species my people consider primitive? Before he could answer, his communication console chimed with an incoming transmission. Dr. Elena Vasquez's face appeared on the screen, her expression stern with concern. Marcus, you missed your scheduled check-in. What's your status? Sephora quickly moved out of view of the camera while Marcus composed himself. Everything's fine, Elena. Just following up on some unusual readings. The xenobiologist's trained eye caught something in his manner. You sound different. Are you sure you're all right? Perfectly fine, he insisted, but Elena's frown deepened. Reading elevated biorhythms from your ship's medical sensors, increased heart rate, elevated body temperature, unusual brainwave patterns. Marcus, these readings suggest you're under some kind of biological influence. Panic flashed across Zephyr's features as she listened from her hiding spot. If the humans discovered her condition, they might try to separate them before the bonding could be completed. It's nothing serious, Marcus said firmly. Just some minor equipment malfunctions affecting the sensors. After ending the transmission, he found Zephyra trembling with worry. She suspects something, the Luminary whispered. If your people discover what we are attempting, they will stop us. They can try, Marcus said, surprising himself with the fierce determination in his voice. But I won't let anyone come between us. Zephyr's eyes widened at his declaration. You would defy your own species for me? Instead of answering with words, Marcus drew her into his arms. The moment their lips met, the world exploded into sensation. Her skin began to glow brighter, casting dancing shadows on the walls, while waves of pleasure and connection washed over both of them. He could feel her life force calling to his, their very souls reaching for each other across the void of space and species. When they finally broke apart, both were breathing heavily. The bonding has begun, Zephyrah whispered against his lips. I can feel your essence merging with mine. Is it dangerous? Marcus asked, though he found he didn't care. Nothing had ever felt more right than holding her in his arms. All great love requires risk, she replied, her fingers tracing patterns of light across his chest. But together, we can survive anything. As if summoned by her words, his console erupted with alerts. 3 Federation ships were approaching. Fast, their weapons powered and ready. Dr. Vasquez had clearly reported her suspicions. And now Commander Hayes was coming to investigate personally. They're coming for us, Marcus said grimly. Zephyr's expression hardened with resolve. Then, we must complete the bond before they arrive. Once we are truly united, no force in the universe can separate us. The 3 Federation ships maintained their approach vector as Marcus sealed his ship's docking bay and activated privacy screens. He knew they had perhaps an hour before Commander Hayes would override his security protocols. But for Zephyrah, an hour might be the difference between life and death. The heat is intensifying, she gasped, her entire body now pulsing with brilliant light. I can feel the fire consuming me from within. Without the bond, I will burn to ash before dawn. Gathered her in his arms, feeling the incredible warmth radiating through her luminescent skin. Then we don't wait any longer. He carried her to his quarters, the small space immediately filling with the otherworldly glow of her presence. As he gently placed her on the bed, she reached up to touch his face with trembling fingers. Are you certain? She whispered. At once. We begin. There will be no going back. The bonding will change us both forever. I've never been more certain of anything, Marcus replied, his voice thick with emotion and desire. Their lips met again, but this time the kiss was different, deeper, more urgent, filled with the desperate need of 2 souls calling across impossible distances to find each other. Zephyr's body responded immediately, her skin brightening until she seemed like a living star in his arms. As their clothes fell away, Marcus marveled at her alien beauty. Her body was humanoid, but perfected, every curve and line designed by evolution to embody grace and sensuality. Where human skin would be pink or brown, hers shimmered with colors that had no names. Shifting from deep violet to brilliant silver to warm gold. "You are magnificent," he breathed against her neck, tasting skin that carried the flavor of starlight and cosmic wind. "As are you, my beloved human," she replied, her hands exploring the solid warmth of his body, "so different from my people, yet so perfectly matched to my soul." When they finally joined together, the universe seemed to explode around them. Marcus felt his consciousness expand beyond the boundaries of his human form, merging with Zephyr's alien essence in ways that transcended physical pleasure. He could feel her thoughts, her emotions, her memories stretching back across centuries of loneliness and waiting. Zephora cried out in a language older than human civilization, her body arching beneath him as waves of pure energy coursed through them both. The walls of his quarters began to glow with reflected light from her skin, and Marcus realized he was changing too. His own body was beginning to emit a faint luminescence, as if her alien nature was awakening something dormant in his human DNA. "Yes," she whispered urgently, her violet eyes wide with wonder and desperate need. "I can feel you becoming part of me, your life force joining with mine. Don't stop, my love. Complete the bond." Their passion built to impossible heights, each touch sending cascades of sensation through their shared consciousness. Marcus felt himself dissolving into pure energy, his human form becoming something new and wonderful as it merged with Zephyr's luminary essence. The climax, when it came, was unlike anything either had ever experienced. Light exploded from their joined bodies, washing over every surface of the ship and beyond. Marcus felt his awareness expand to touch the minds of every living thing within 100 light-years, while Zephyr's ancient wisdom flowed through him like liquid starlight. In that moment of perfect union, they were no longer human and Luminari, but something entirely new. A bridge between species. A living proof that love could transcend any barrier the universe might place between two souls meant to be together. As the intensity gradually faded, they lay entwined in the afterglow, their bodies still pulsing with shared light. Marcus could feel Zephyr's presence in his mind like a warm, comforting presence that would never leave him. "It is done," she whispered, tears of joy streaming down her luminescent cheeks. "We are bonded now, joined for all eternity. Death itself cannot separate what we have become." But even as they celebrated their union, the ship shuddered under the impact of docking clamps. Commander Hayes had arrived, and Marcus knew their greatest challenge still lay ahead. The sound of cutting torches echoed through the ship's hull as Commander Hayes' security team worked to breach Marcus's sealed airlock. He and Zephora quickly dressed, though her transformed state made concealment impossible. Her skin continued to pulse with soft light, and strange markings had appeared along her arms and neck, symbols that seemed to shift and change as Marcus watched. "The bond marks," she explained, noting his gaze. "They appear on all successfully mated Luminari, proof of our eternal connection. But they will also reveal to your people exactly what we have done." Marcus felt a strange tingling in his own skin and looked down to see similar markings appearing on his chest and arms, glowing faintly with the same ethereal light. "I'm changing too. The bonding process affects both partners," Zephora said, helping him fasten his uniform over the telltale signs. "In time, you will develop abilities you never dreamed possible. Telepathy, enhanced strength and healing, even limited energy manipulation. But first, we must survive your commander's judgment." The airlock finally gave way with a hiss of equalizing pressure, and Commander Hayes strode onto the ship flanked by 6 armed security officers. His weathered face was grim with authority and barely contained anger. "Captain Reed, you will step away from the alien immediately," Hayes ordered, his hand resting on his sidearm. "Dr. Vasca's analysis of your biological readings suggests you may be under some form of alien influence or mind control." "Nobody's controlling me, Commander," Marcus replied calmly, moving to stand protectively in front of Zephyra. I'm exactly where I choose to be. Hayes's eyes narrowed as he took in the faint luminescence emanating from both of them.
Ow.
What the hell have you done, Reed? You're glowing like some kind of Christmas ornament. I found something worth more than regulations and protocol, Marcus said firmly. I've found love. The commander's expression shifted from anger to disgust. Love. With that thing, Marcus, it's an alien. Whatever pheromones or psychological manipulation it's using on you, we can reverse it. Dr. Vasquez has a full xenobiology team standing by. Her name is Zephora, Marcus said, his voice carrying a dangerous edge, and she's not manipulating anyone. What we have is real, Hayes gestured to his security team, who raised their weapons. Step aside, Captain. Direct order. No. The word came out flat and final, carrying power that Marcus didn't know he possessed. Several of the security officers actually took an involuntary step backward. Zephira placed a gentle hand on Marcus's shoulder, and he felt her strength flowing through their bond. We will not be separated, she said, her voice resonating with harmonics that made the ship's hull vibrate. What has been joined in love cannot be sundered by fear or ignorance. Enough of this mystical nonsense, Hayes snapped. You're both coming with us for full psychological and medical evaluation. If this alien has contaminated you with some kind of virus or parasite, we need to understand it before it spreads. The only thing spreading here is narrow-mindedness, Marcus replied. He could feel new strength flowing through his enhanced body, power drawn from the cosmic forces Zephira had introduced him to. We're not sick, Commander. We're evolved. Evolved into what? Freaks. Monsters. Hayes drew his weapon. Last warning read. Step away from the alien, or I'll have you both stunned and dragged back to the station. Marcus felt Zephyr's hand tighten on his shoulder, and suddenly their shared consciousness expanded to encompass the entire ship. He could sense every person aboard, feel their emotions, their fears, their preconceptions. Most were afraid, but some, including young Ensign Taurus, felt wonder at what they were witnessing. You want to see what we've become? Marcus asked, his voice now carrying the same harmonic resonance as Zephyrus. Then witness the future of interspecies cooperation. Together, they began to glow brighter, their joined energy creating a field of pure light that washed over everyone present. For a brief moment, every human on the ship experienced what Marcus and Zephora felt: the perfect unity of two souls joined across the vast differences of biology and culture. When the light faded, several of the security officers had lowered their weapons, tears streaming down their faces. Even Commander Hayes looked shaken by the experience. What you felt, Zephora said gently, was love in its purest form. Not human love or luminary love, but something greater than both. This is what your species and mine could become together, if you would only open your hearts to possibility. But Hayes, though visibly moved, quickly hardened his expression again. Feelings aren't facts. For all we know, this is some kind of biological warfare, designed to make us sympathetic to alien infiltration. He raised his weapon again. You're both coming with us, and that's final. The standoff stretched taut as a wire between Marcus and Commander Hayes, with Zephyr's luminous presence the fulcrum on which everything balanced. The security team remained frozen, weapons half raised, still reeling from the psychic experience of shared consciousness. You felt it too, didn't you, Commander? Marcus said quietly, his enhanced senses picking up the older man's elevated heart rate and conflicted emotions. When our minds touched yours, you experienced something beyond your understanding of what's possible. Hayes's grip tightened on his weapon, but Marcus could see doubt flickering in his eyes. Psychological manipulation. It's advanced alien technology designed to make us compliant. Not manipulation, Zephora interjected, stepping forward despite the weapons trained on her. Revelation. Your species and mine are not as different as you believe. We both evolved from the same cosmic seeds, scattered across the galaxy eons ago. What you call love, we call the universal force that binds all conscious beings. Dr. Vasquez's voice crackled through the communication system from the lead Federation ship. Commander, I'm reading unprecedented energy signatures from the alien vessel. Whatever's happening over there, it's affecting space-time in a localized field around their position. Marcus felt the truth of her words through his enhanced awareness. Their bonding had indeed created something new, a stable bridge between dimensions that allowed consciousness to flow freely between different forms of life. He could sense not just Zephyr's thoughts, but the faint whispers of every sentient being within light years. "We're not asking for acceptance," Marcus told Hayes, his voice carrying new authority drawn from cosmic understanding. "We're offering it. Humanity doesn't have to face the universe alone anymore." "The Federation Council will never approve this," Hayes said, though his conviction was wavering. "Interspecies contamination protocols exist for good reason." Protocols? Written by beings who never experienced true unity, Zephyra replied. She began to glow brighter, but instead of the harsh light of before, this radiance was warm, comforting, inviting. "Commander Hayes, you have devoted your life to protecting humanity. Let me show you a way to protect all conscious life." Anyone could stop her. She reached out with her transformed consciousness and gently touched the minds of everyone present. This time, instead of overwhelming them with sensation, she shared memories, her people's history, their struggles against cosmic forces that threatened all life, their desperate search for allies among the younger species of the galaxy. Marcus felt his own awareness expand again. But now he could perceive the vast network of consciousness that connected every living thing in the universe. Humans, Luminari, and dozens of other species he had never imagined, all part of an intricate web of thought and feeling that spanned the cosmos. "We are not alone," he whispered, the weight of revelation bringing tears to his eyes. "We never were." Ensign Torres lowered his weapon completely, his young face bright with wonder. "Sir, if what they're showing us is real, this could change everything. Imagine the advances in science, philosophy, medicine, all of it possible, through cooperation instead of isolation." Hayes looked around at his security team, seeing the same awed expression on every face. Slowly, reluctantly, he holstered his sidearm. "This is the biggest decision in human history," he said grimly. "It's not one I can make alone." "And don't make it alone," Marcus said, extending his hand toward the commander. "Feel what we feel. Know what we know. Let the truth guide your choice." After a long moment, Hayes reached out and clasped Marcus's glowing hand. The contact sent waves of shared consciousness flowing between them. And suddenly the gruff commander experienced the full scope of what Marcus and Zephora had discovered together. Love that transcended species barriers. Understanding that dissolved fear and prejudice. Unity that made all beings stronger without diminishing any. And underneath it all, the vast cosmic purpose that connected every conscious creature in an endless dance of creation and growth. When the connection ended, Hayes stood transformed. Not physically, he remained fully human, but spiritually awakened to possibilities he had never imagined. "This has to be reported," he said finally. But his tone had completely changed. Not as a contamination incident, but his first contact with something greater than anything we've encountered before. Marcus and Zephra smiled at each other, their bond glowing with shared triumph. They had faced the greatest challenge of their union and emerged stronger than ever. "What happens now?" Torres asked, speaking for everyone present. Zephra turned to address them all, her voice carrying harmonics of hope and infinite possibility. "We begin the work of building bridges between worlds. My people have waited centuries for humanity to be ready for true partnership. Through our bond, Marcus and I have proven that such unity is not only possible, but essential for the survival of all conscious life. The universe is vast and often hostile," Marcus added, feeling the truth of it through his enhanced perception. "It's also filled with wonders beyond imagination. Together we can explore it all." As the Federation ships began their journey back to Earth, carrying news that would change the course of human history, Marcus and Zephra stood together on the observation deck, watching stars wheel past in their eternal dance. "No regrets?" she asked, her hand finding his. "Only that it took so long to find you," he replied, pulling her close. Their combined light painted the cosmos in shades of love and possibility. a beacon for other souls brave enough to reach across the darkness and touch something greater than themselves. In the end, they had proven that love truly was the one force capable of transcending any barrier the universe might place between two hearts meant to beat as one. Their story would inspire countless others to look beyond the boundaries of species and planet to find connection in the vast community of conscious beings that filled the cosmos. The stars sang with their joy, and somewhere in the depths of space, other lonely souls began to feel the first stirrings of hope that they too might find their perfect match among the infinite possibilities of the universe.